Today we're going to talk about some fantastic news in regards to Fortnite Mobile returning to the iOS platform and an additional device that originally it wasn't supposed to be returning to, with all of these new regulations going on. But with recent news and recent good news, we now have one extra device that we can look forward to Fortnite Mobile returning on. Now, just to get you all up to speed as usual in regards to the whole Fortnite Mobile saga, I think everyone at this point knows the game has been banned and yada yada. There's the Epic Game versus Apple lawsuit. But recently, in the last year or so, the European Union have taken it upon themselves to basically call out a lot of the big tech companies like Apple and Facebook and a few others and say, hey guys, what you're doing is pretty bad, it's pretty monopolistic. We're gonna have to make it more fair for consumers and make some pro-consumer rules and regulations. And one of these rules and regulations that the European Union deemed would help out consumers for the iOS platform in particular is adding sideloading. Now this is huge because the entire time Fortnite Mobile has been banned, you've been able to play it. Believe it or not, I still have a lot of people say, hey, where did Fortnite Mobile go? Well, on iOS it went somewhere, but on Android it takes a few more steps, but you can download it through something called sideloading, which is basically you go off of the Google Play Store to download the game and you download third-party launchers, third-party marketplaces, and you install apps through that. So Android has always had this, but iOS for the first time ever has recently just got access to this in their latest 17.4 update for iOS. This was a change made by the European Union, and so unfortunately it is only effect in certain European countries, basically all countries in Europe besides the United Kingdom, because the UK decided to leave the European Union a few months ago. But we've already been covering this over the last few months because it's been really exciting news and information, because Epic Games ultimately lost the lawsuit against Apple. They didn't really make any progress in terms of getting Fortnite iOS back onto the Apple App Store. And so with this new rules and regulation change, companies can now make their own app stores, and that is exactly what Epic planned to do. Last month they announced the Epic Games Store will be coming to iOS sometime later this year. Again, we don't have a date, but on a positive note, we did actually hear from Tim Sweeney this month on a potential time frame we could see Fortnite returning to the App Store. But also, when all this news and information dropped, some pretty bad news came out that the European Union was only going to be forcing iPhones and the iOS platform to have this sideloading and not iPads and iPadOS, because for some reason iOS and iPadOS, they're two totally different things. But as anyone has most likely ever recognized, they're basically the same operating system. They basically function the same as each other platform. But in a really good stroke of good luck, the European Union has decided to go back and reevaluate the iPadOS operating system, because a lot of people were like, hey, why did you guys not include this with the whole Apple stuff? And they're like, hey, you know what, we messed up. And they have now concluded that iPadOS will also be falling under their Digital Markets Act, where basically iPadOS here in a future update will be receiving the ability to sideload third-party marketplaces onto their devices, which basically just means iPhones and iPads can now both sideload the Epic Games App Store whenever it does come out. And if you're wondering, well, did Fortnite comment on this? Yeah, they actually did tweet about this. It was about a week ago at this point where they tweeted, update, the EU announced today that this also applies to iPads. Fortnite will return to iPhones in the EU pretty soon and iPads later this year. So there's two really good bits of information in there. Obviously, one, it's coming to iPads. As an iPad player myself, I was really worried that I was gonna have to learn how to crank 90s and do all the crazy edits on my phone, which I probably could have done. And same thing for most of your iPad players. You probably could have relearned how to play Fortnite on a phone, but it's just so different. Going from phone to tablet is one thing, but going back from tablet to phone is a not fun thing to do. And trust me, I've had to do it many times for many games over the course of the last few years. So I'm really happy it'll be coming to iPads, but they said later this year. And also the other good thing in this tweet is they actually for the first time mentioned when we might be getting Fortnite Mobile back on iOS. And I know we're really grasping at straws here. We're really trying to stretch the information and deduce what it means. But in the tweet, it also said Fortnite will return to iPhones in the EU pretty soon. But before that, in the previous tweet back in January, Fortnite basically just tweeted that, hey, it's going to be coming sometime this year. We don't know when. So pretty soon in my mind is a few months, like 1 to 3 months. Because at that point, if it's 3 months, we're all the way in August and we're almost 2/3 of the way done through the year. And I don't think they would say pretty soon if it's going to be dropping in like October or November, because that's not soon at all. That's like 6 months away. But if you think I'm just waffling and hallucinating, well, Tim Sweeney himself actually responded for the first time ever, to my knowledge, about when Fortnite Mobile might be returning to the iOS platform, or more importantly, or more particularly, when the Epic Games Store might be returning to the iOS platform. He replied to a tweet about a week ago as well, when someone tweeted approximate or estimated date for Fortnite on iOS, and Tim Sweeney said soon. He said pretty much the same thing that the Fortnite tweet said, but again, it's just reiterating that soon. And again, there's no way to quantify soon. It could be a month, it could be 2, it could be 3 months. I already got my hopes up in the past, when all this news and information was announced, personally, I was like, yo, Epic Games, they're going to knock it out of the park. They're going to develop the game in a few months, and we're going to be playing it in March, April. I thought we were going to be playing it by now. Last time I checked, Fortnite still isn't out on iOS devices, so I think I was a little bit over optimistic when trying to gauge when Fortnite Mobile might be released. But I also do remember a few weeks, or probably about a month or two ago now, there were some rumors and leaks that a lot of other big game publishers and game studios were also trying to get their app stores out during the summer, because obviously summer is when there is the most time to play video games if you're a kid, because you're in school, because obviously summer is the best time for students to play video games because they're out of school usually for 2 to 3 months. They got nothing to do, no homework, no classes, and so games really try to optimize for launching things in the summer or the winter. Those are like typically the two big break points in the year for like the gaming demographic. And so personally, I think seeing Fortnite Mobile launch on iOS during these summer months is more likely than not, especially now that we have Tim Sweeney saying soon, for again the first time ever, that he's decided to publicly comment on the release date of Fortnite Mobile on iOS. I just have a good feeling. And again, I've had a lot of good feelings over the last 4 years, and most of them have turned out to be dead wrong. But also, I think tomorrow the new iPad lineup is getting announced, so there will be some crazy powerful devices that can now play Fortnite Mobile. I'm hoping at least 120. There's no way it's been 4 years, and back in the day, back in like 2019, we were getting 120 FPS. There's no way that in 2024 we're not getting at least 120 FPS. Maybe like 144. If the new iPads or the new iPhones start coming out with these crazy high refresh rate screens, we could be seeing some crazy optimization, because I know Android hasn't been particularly optimized over the last few years. A lot of people, myself included, haven't really been too happy with the progress in terms of frame rate and overall gameplay and graphics and whatnot. But to be fair, the iOS platform was always Epic Games' bread and butter in terms of optimizing and giving a really fantastic user experience. So I'm really looking forward to any updates we might be able to see over the next, hopefully, few weeks, maybe a month in regards to this. There also have been a few alternative app stores that have already launched recently, and we're getting a better picture as to what users like myself might actually have to do in order to get this game outside of the EU, because as I mentioned, the EU probably 50 times in today's video, this governing body, their rules and regulations only apply to countries within the European Union, and so for any country outside of it, and so basically for all the other countries and continents that aren't in Europe, we're gonna have a pretty tough time. It's looking to be a little bit more difficult than we imagined, but again, I know the mobile community, especially the Fortnite mobile community, if you've still been playing, you've still been grinding, there is virtually nothing that is going to stop you from being able to play Fortnite Mobile again in 2024 on iOS, especially again on iPads. That now that we have the information, iPads are here. Boys, it's back. We're gonna find a way to get gaming. And so really, that's all the news and information we've had over the last like 6 to 8 weeks. So I haven't made a video recently on this because there hasn't really been that much news or information. But hopefully, again, I'm not getting my hopes up, over the next 1, 2, maybe 3 months, we keep it back gaming on Fortnite Mobile, streaming, uploading, posting. You guys know the vibes. But until then, we're just gonna have to wait like we've been waiting patiently for the last 4 years. But honestly, waiting, I'm just so used to it that it's whatever. It's just as a side effect of having to deal with all this. And so hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you're hyped for the potential, and not potential, the soon release of Fortnite Mobile back to your iPhones and your iPads, well then let me know by dropping a like on today's video, and also down in the comment section below, are you going to be gaming it? Are you going to be grinding? Are you looking forward to it? And with all that being said, it's been your boy DuckyTheGamer. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.